Hello, everyone, and welcome to DFS Live. I am Nate Polvogt on this Friday, October 18th, 2024. I am here with my co-host, the one and only Mr. Mike Reedy. Mike, how are we doing over there in New England, my friend?
Good, man. Good. It's supposed to warm up a little bit in a couple of days. It was really cold the past couple of nights. If you like foliage, it's leaf peeping time here. We have busloads of creeps coming in from all over that want to look at leaves and peep at them. I don't know why,
Leaf
but they do.
peepers. That's a new term that's popped up on the radio here lately is leaf peepers.
It was new to me a few years ago. I think it's hilarious.
It cracks me up. We got Herms dropping in saying, "What up, though, Herms?
What up,
it's wonderful
Herms?
to see you." We'll be on the Q&A show together here in just like an hour and a half. So, guys, if you've got questions about the fantasy football side of things this weekend, tune in there. But we are here to help you set your main slate DFS lineups this weekend. And I think we should just get right into it, Mike. We're going to start off with our main slate quarterbacks. But, of course, I put up tight ends for some reason. Well, there we go.
No. I see quarterback.
You know what? We'll start with, we've got quarterbacks. All righty. Well, with tight ends on the, you know what? We're just going to go with quarterbacks.
Right there, it's quarterbacks. That's what
it's quarterbacks. It says quarterbacks. Yep. And our first quarterback, Jaden Daniels, Mike, I cannot get off of Jaden Daniels any week. He's been just so incredibly good to the point where I just feel like he's worth the price. This week, Washington's playing Carolina. So the matchup is it's ridiculous. 7,600 on DraftKings. He's 9,100 on FanDuel. He's a smash play for me this week in DFS and in fantasy.
I can't as well. I wrote him up as a moneymaker. I was happy to see you talking about him because he's on my list of guys. The Panthers give up 231 yards and 2 touchdowns every single week so far this season to quarterbacks. This is just a smash play if you want to pay up for Jaden Daniels and someone else, right, that I'm pretty sure we're talking about over there in Commander Land, right?
Yes.
But I can't get off him either. He's a quarterback 3 in fantasy right now. I mean,
yeah,
just having an amazing rookie season. I was surprised. I knew he'd be good. I didn't know he'd be this good.
I thought he was the best quarterback in the draft. I like these LSU guys because I thought Neighbors was the best wide receiver in the draft as well. There's just a certain pedigree about these guys coming out of LSU where their rookie season, they tend to they slot right in. And now to be fair though, this was Washington. So there were some reservations about it, but he's proven me wrong. He has been phenomenal.
Yeah.
Even at the highest price tag in DFS right now, I'm still taking him. Now my mid picks, Jordan Love, Mike, 6,900, not that far below, but Jordan Love, again, he's one of those guys, right? Really can't get off of him right now.
No way. I like Jordan Love a lot this week as well. He's had, maybe one score below 20 points, I think, this season. He's just putting up numbers. He really spreads the ball around well with that wide receiver group too. He's like, if you're starting him in any format, if you have him, and in DFS, the price is pretty nice too, right? The 6,900 on DraftKings, 700 on FanDuel. It's high, but it's not all the way up high.
Right. You're not at the 7,600 price tag of Jaden Daniels. You could be right in a similar point range between these two. Love's got weapons. And Tucker Kraft, Christian Watson, Romeo Doubs, Jaden Reed, Josh Jacobs. This is a good offense. So he's a player that's stackable. And we'll get to that here a little bit later. Now, my low price quarterback, first time I've talked about him, and might be the only time I bring him up this season. And again, this is matchup for me. It's Matthew Stafford of the Rams. He's been pedestrian at best, and that's at his best this season.
Complete roller coaster so far this year, right? Up and down, up and down. We know his top 2 wide receivers have been out, right? It looks like Cooper Kupp might be back this week, which would be very beneficial if he's back. The Raiders give up the 8th most fantasy points to opposing teams' quarterbacks, right? I think you're looking at a 250 yards, easily single touchdown type of week from Stafford as like your floor this week, right?
Yeah.
Just because the Raiders not good at defending the pass. And if Kupp's back, oh man, please get me 2 touchdowns. I'll love you.
That's where I'm at with this. We've got Cooper Kupp back. Vegas's defense has been bad, and Max Crosby's pissed. Did you hear his comments earlier today? He says, I'm not here to rebuild. I'm here to win. I'm not here to play on bad teams. I am here to win. I'm here to win the division. I'm here to win a Super Bowl. I'm not here to rebuild. This is a team that's rebuilding. I don't know that we're going to get a full effort out of Crosby.
He was asking to get traded with Devontae before a trade, right? Like,
yeah,
if we go, we both go.
So. Yep, this is a guy who could very well be on the move out of Vegas, and that plays for me this week a little bit. And this is probably, again, only time I'm probably going to play Stafford unless Kupp really starts to elevate what he's doing this year, which is entirely possible. I'm not going to bet on it right now. Just this 1 week at 5,600. It's just such a low price tag.
We'll see what happens. We adapt.
Yep, we do adapt. Now we're going to move over to running backs, Mike. These ones were all you, but I love your high call, Brian Robinson.
Now, I know he's got a knee issue. It looks like he's going to play. The Panthers, they're not only bad against the pass, they're bad against the run. They just don't defend anything well. Running backs this season have scored 12 touchdowns in the first 6 games. I think we can all do the math, right? That's 2 a game. You're looking at what? 100 yards and a touchdown every game from Robinson the way it's been. I think he's had 100 yards or a touchdown every game this season. So if he's playing, he's getting the touches he has been all year. You're looking at easy 100-yard game probably and a touchdown, right? Like,
yeah.
I 6,400 on DraftKings, 8,000 on FanDuel. I love this smash play. The matchup is really great, right? Like, I have Brian Robinson in lineups.
I feel like Washington could hang like 50 points on Carolina. It'd be like what Tampa Bay did to New Orleans last week, where because Washington's defense isn't great and because Andy Dalton's the quarterback, Carolina's going to score some points. But they're not going to win because Washington's offense is much better. They're going to put up 45, 50 points. So
Andy Dalton's going to pass a lot to stay in this game. Yeah,
he is. Yeah, he's not a terrible option in some formats. Now your mid pick, Tony Pollard, I'm not usually a fan, but 6,300, and he has been producing this year, to be fair, in Tennessee, which
I'm not a fan either of Tony Pollard. I am a fan of production, as you were just saying. That's what I care about more than anything else. He's the only bright spot on the Titans offense. Spears is already ruled out.
Yeah.
The matchup is really nice as the Bills give up the most fantasy points per game to opposing teams' running backs. Number 1, easiest matchup. Don't ask me why they're the easiest one. No one would think it is, but running backs score fantasy points against them. He's only 6,300 on DraftKings and 7,100 on FanDuel. This guy, in my lineups, this guy's the chalk right now. Like, I'm putting Tony Pollard everywhere because without Spears, his volume is going to be through the roof as well.
Well, so Will Levis targeted Calvin Ridley 8 times last week. Calvin Ridley didn't have a catch. This is how bad that passing offense is. If they want to be even remotely successful, they're going to have to run the ball a lot. Without Tyjae Spears, that run through Tony Pollard. To your point, Bills are giving up 29 points, half PPR points per game to running back. So, this is a big week for him. Now, Trey Sermon is someone we have not really been recommending to people.
It's already hurt. He might not play.
Okay, well, if he does play, I do like this call because it's against Miami. If he doesn't play, are you on Tyler Goodson?
I am. The price is even lower for Tyler Goodson, right? So Sermon is the Dolphins give up the 3rd most fantasy points to running backs, right? I don't think Trey Sermon is a great player. I think Trey Sermon's in a great opportunity spot here, or Tyler Goodson, whichever one is running it for the Colts this week. I don't trust Anthony Richardson to carry the Colts on his back. I think the fact that he's there might help a running back because he's going to run. But the Dolphins give up 119 yards rushing, 21 yards receiving, and 2 touchdowns per week to running backs on average. So this is, the opportunity cost type scenario, right? Where the cost is really low and the opportunity is high. This is the place where you can make a low cost option in your DFS lineup allow you to bump up some other places like wide receiver, right? There's a lot of good high price wide receivers, and balance this all out. And this guy's probably going to get you double digits, whether it's Sermon or Goodson, Tyler Goodson.
Yes. Goodson is, just so everyone knows, here 5,400 on DraftKings. I did not look up FanDuel, but he's going to be in a similar range as where Sermon is on FanDuel as well. Yeah. This is fine for me, and the price I think is good. Anthony Richardson is starting, so maybe there's a little bit more short passing game viability, even though we know Sermon's not phenomenal with that. But I really don't hate the call at all, especially to allow you to pay up at these other positions, like you were saying. Some of these high-priced wide receivers, these quarterbacks, guys that are going to give you just a ton of points.
Well, if you want to view them as, say, he wasn't that good. He only got me 10 points. He only got me 8 points. But I got 32 points from this wide receiver. Yeah, all right. Then it worked out beautifully, right? Like that.
Exactly. Cost opportunity.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Let's move over to some wide receivers. My high wide receiver this week, one and only Amon-Ra St. Brown at 8,300 on DraftKings. He is 8,900 on FanDuel. This Minnesota defense is not good at defending anything. Conversely, this Detroit defense also not good at defending anything. This is going to be a shootout of a game between Jared Goff and Sam Darnold.
I love it.
I want Amon-Ra St. Brown. Everyone's going to be in on Justin Jefferson this week. Justin Jefferson is priced about $500 higher than Amon-Ra. I want Amon-Ra. I think he is going to be at the same level as Justin Jefferson this week. I want a part of that.
Vikings give up the third most fantasy points to opposing teams running wide receivers, right? So he's going to smash. The volume's going to be there. It's Amon-Ra St. Brown. I know he hasn't produced like a top 3 wide receiver this season. They're running in touchdowns whenever they can, but last week they kind of took off in the passing offense. They're going to have to pass this week against the Vikings. Yeah. Break out your sunglasses. Put on that suntan lotion because the sun god is going to shine.
Oh, yes. No, I'm very excited for this one. I've already built a couple of lineups with him. Now, my mid wide receiver, I've also built a couple of lineups with because he's back. Malik Neighbors. He's been cleared. He is ready to go. There's a little scare earlier today with the whole, he's got a tight groin. We might list him as questionable. Nope. Took him off the injury report. Don't do that to us, Brian Daboll. Like, you can't, dangle it and take it away, then finally throw it back. But at 7,500, I'm playing Malik Neighbors. Don't care about matchup. Don't care about anything. He is that offense when he is healthy. I want all of it. Give me Malik Neighbors at 7,500 this week.
Massive target share, right? Volume is king. He gets 30-something% of the targets, right? It's just this, and this probably helps Wan'Dale Robinson too, by the way. But I wrote about Malik Neighbors as well, and would have wanted to talk about him here also. You can't pass on him. And at that price, you're looking at high-end numbers for mid-tier price.
Yeah. And as our Debbie devotional every other Tuesday here on the Optimus Fantasy Network, host, Dynasty Coach A. John Arrington says, always Neighbors. Always Neighbors. And then Herm saying, Wan'Dale gang, please remain standing. Oh, I can't stand right now, but I would if I could, I promise. Now we're going to move to my low price guy, Darnell Mooney at 5,600. I'm not a huge fan of the matchup against Seattle, but Kirk Cousins is getting a ton better every week. He's starting to look more like himself. And Darnell Mooney has shades of a wide receiver one in that offense. I still believe it's Drake London, but Mooney's as close to a 1A as you can be to Drake London right now. He's the cheaper option. 5,600. You can get a really good wide receiver with boom potential and pay up other places.
Yeah, Chris Robin talked about this 3 or 4 weeks ago, where he said that you want Darnell Mooney because there's going to be weeks he's the number 1 wide receiver on the team because that's how their offense is run. He was right. It is how the offense is run. This is another opportunity cost play. I think right. That's not a lot of money for a guy who could score 25 fantasy points for you in the blink of an eye.
Right.
In a game where they're probably both teams are going to be throwing the ball a lot because Geno Smith throws the ball a lot.
highest yards per game average is like 296 right now. So this should be a good game. A lot of balls in the air. Darnell Mooney's going to catch a few of them. And let's move on to tight ends, guys who probably aren't going to catch a lot of balls. We're just hoping like one or two of them are high value. George Kittle, though, he might catch a lot of balls.
I think he will, right? So
have you heard it? Is Debo playing?
I haven't heard. I hope he is because he's on a lot of my redraft teams. But Kittle's having a great season. He's the overall TE1 right now.
Mm-hmm.
And the Chiefs happen to be the team that gives up the most fantasy points in tight ends right now. So, when the universe completely aligns itself, even for a high price guy to be a smash play, it couldn't be more smash than this. You get the best tight end right now in fantasy going against the defense that wants to let the tight end score the most fantasy points in the Chiefs. 6,000 on DraftKings, 7,500 on FanDuel. That's George Kittle. I'm playing Kittle wherever I can.
He's a smash. I could not agree more. Debo Samuel, sigh of relief. You need to. He was out of the non-contact jersey at practice today. He's looking to full go for Sunday. Now your mid guy, Brock Bowers, Jacoby Myers is doubtful. Did you see that this morning?
I did.
So this
Myers is doubtful, and he's probably not playing, right?
Not
Adams
playing.
is gone. We know that Trey Tucker's been usable here and there, and he's like a wide receiver 5, 4/5 type of guy. Brock Bowers, again, sometimes these things like write themselves.
Mm-hmm.
The number 2 tight end in fantasy against a team that gives up the second most fantasy points to tight ends, the Rams, is Brock Bowers. He has a 22% target share for the season. That's going to go up this week. He's probably looking at 35% target share because there's not anybody else there.
I could see it as high as 50.
5,800 on DraftKings. I would love 50. 7,000 on FanDuel. So, if I'm not playing Kittle or Bowers, I'll lean into Kelsey too, by the way, if you want to go higher price.
Sure.
The low price guy here is Njoku. Again, I don't necessarily love him. We needed a low price guy, so we picked one that makes sense. How does he make sense? Amari Cooper's gone. He's been getting a very good share of Njoku has the past couple of games, getting a good share of the targets. Somebody has to catch the ball. Watson stinks. Maybe he'll throw them all to his tight end. I don't know.
Well, Cincinnati's middle of the road against tight ends are giving up roughly 10 points a game, which that's good enough for tight end 8 some weeks. So I don't hate it at all. And at 4,100, it's a good price tag.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to break out or anything, but if he can get you 8 points, maybe 10 points tops at that price point, that's not a bad play if you're paying up somewhere else for like Amon-Ra St. Brown.
I mean, I wouldn't be mad at a David Njoku breakout week.
Oh, neither would I. We need some tight ends to break out, please.
Well, and I like David Njoku.
I like him too. I like his name. I like saying his name. Just like I would like to see Jonnu Smith break out this week. He has a nice matchup too. But
yeah, Casey talked about him yesterday. So
she and I, man, we never talked.
You guys have locked in a few weeks in a row.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna have to get her on the waiver wire show one of these weeks, for sure. All right, let's move on to DST's defense special teams. I'm going to start off with the high price guy, Mike. I've got the Commanders at 3,400 because they're playing Carolina. And I know I said they're going to blow them out of the water. And I think Andy Dalton's going to throw 2 or 3 interceptions in this game.
Well, the Panthers aren't very good. So that's a good pick.
I can see a pick 6 here. Yeah. A bad fumble that gets returned for a touchdown. I don't know. It just seems like it's going to be all bad on the Carolina side.
Pick on the bad teams. That's the name of the game with DST.
Yep. Well, that's what I'm doing with my Rams here. 3,000. They're my mid pick. They're up against Vegas, which has far of a throw in the ball to Brock Bowers. That's going to be the extent of their offense. Again, I see a lot of turnovers in my future here.
I do too. And the Raiders give up the second most fantasy points to opposing teams' defenses overall anyways. So it's a great pick. And now with even less skill position players on offense, it's the poor Raiders.
Well, I just don't know. I don't know how they're going to move the ball.
It feels almost Saints-like from Thursday night. Sorry, Saints. Everybody was out.
I'm not.
It's it's hard to be good when nobody's playing, you know?
Right.
It's hard to be good.
Well, and I thought it was funny people were giving the Saints a chance on Twitter before the game. And I'm just like, look, I know I might seem biased because I'm a Broncos fan, but it's not it. It's just that this dude, you're at Spencer Rattler to Bub Means all night.
You're not going to get that. Not against that defense. You're not going to get that.
No,
And they
you're not going to
baffled
get
him.
that.
They baffled him with that zone that they switched to early on too. He did not do well against that early on. Rattler looked bad.
This is my shocked face. Okay, so we're going to move on to actually something I am a little surprised by. The Packers defense has been so good this season. I don't understand why they're down to 2,900 on DraftKings and 4,400 on FanDuel. I know they're playing Houston.
It's amazing to me. They have scored the second most fantasy points for a defense right behind the Vikings, right? So like they've been an excellent fantasy defense, and they're so low priced. This is who I've already have plugged into every lineup I've built.
Yeah, I'm not playing another defense this week. The other two we had to talk about somebody, but I'm only playing the Packers.
So I didn't write about them. Sometimes I like to not write about certain things so I can talk about them on the show and vice versa. You know what I mean? Just to add things, places.
Yeah,
I would have wanted to talk. Yeah, I would have wanted to talk about them here because this is probably you're not going to get a better play at a low price defense maybe this season. I can't believe they're priced so low.
Somebody explain it to me like I'm 5.
Oh no, keep it. Make it lower next week.
Yes, no, we like this trend. Keep it up.
Yeah, we like low price defenses that are good. Yes,
we do. We do. And you know what we also like, Mike? We like Q&A shows that are live to get you ready for week 7 of fantasy football. We have one coming up tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern, which is really not very far away from here. We're like an hour and 22 minutes. Looking forward to that. I have got Herms on the show with me, and we have got Keith Fleming from Fantasy and Frames joining us as well. We're going to go until the questions stop tonight. So the kid wasn't in school. We don't have to go pick him up from the YMCA. I can just sit here and talk for a little bit. We're going to hammer it out.
And if you don't get your question answered there, throw it into Reddit on Sunday morning. We'll answer them there too.
Yep, 11 a.m. Eastern.
11 a.m. Eastern.
That's right. And next week, Tuesday, join Mike and I for the Waiver Wire show. That time is incorrect. We're not quite that late. Time to be determined. This is what I get for doing all my graphics at I don't know, midnight. Yep, 3 a.m. Not quite that late. But guys, don't forget to join us here in just a little bit for that Q&A live session here on the Optimus Fantasy Football channel. Looking forward to it. For Mike Reedy, I'm Nate Polvogt. We'll see you next week.
Thank you.